This is 17.1. Solving by graphing. I have a big sheet of tons of quadratic equations. There are quadratic equations because what's the biggest exponent in all of them? 2 is our biggest exponent, so it is quadratic. None of these can be solved. None of these can be solved using the little squiggly down the equal sign and solving for x. Can't be done. So the first method to solve these is by graphing. So we're going to take out Desmos, and we are going to graph our first one. Okay? Number 9. I'm going to type it in exactly as it looks. Exactly as it looks. And I'm going to show you there's actually a few ways to type it in, and you'll still be A-okay. Okay? We could type it in exactly how it looks. F of x equals x squared plus 3x plus 2. And there I see my parabola. Remember, the graph is called a parabola. The equation is called a quadratic. Okay? So here's my parabola. I can type it in with the f of x. Watch this. You can type it in instead of f of x. I can put a 0 instead. Or I can type in a y. Or I don't even have to type in the equal sign. There's many ways to do it. You can type in the f of x. You can type in y equals instead of f of x. Or you can just type in the quadratic without any equal sign. Desmos will know how to graph it no matter what. So here's my parabola. And I'm trying to find, where does my parabola do what? To find this parabola's solutions, where do I look? I look at where my parabola crosses the, which axis? The x-axis. See, this is the x-axis. The solutions to a quadratic, to a parabola, is where it crosses the x-axis. If I click on my parabola, I can click on my 2 points where I cross the x-axis. I cross at -2, and I cross at -1. Those are the solutions. It has 2 of them. -2 and -1. What is this point on the very bottom called? You remember the vocab word? It's called the vertex. That, in this case, the vertex is the lowest point. It's the minimum. This is where the graph goes from going down to going up. -1.5, -0.25. This is not the solution. This is just a very important point that you should know. Because if they ask, where's the vertex? All you do is graph it and click on it. Our solutions are -2 and -1. So how do I write that? All I do is write x equals -2, semicolon, which means and in math, -1.
So, where were the 2 places that it touched? What were we looking for? We call that, well, not the y-intercept, but we're looking at the what? The x-intercept.
X-intercept. I want to do number 19 with you, okay? So we're going to do number 19, and then you should be good to go, honestly. Number 19, here it is. F of x equals -3x squared minus 6x plus 144. Again, you can type it in exactly as it looks. You could type it in without the f of x and the equal sign, or you could replace the f of x with a y. All will work. So, I'm just going to do without it, because I like to do as little as possible. -3x squared minus 6x plus 144. Uh-oh, I can't see it, which means I probably have to do what? zoom out. Look at how big it is. There's my big old parabola. If I click on my blue line, okay, remember there are a few important points. One, this time, where is our vertex? Boop. Our vertex is at the tippity top. It's a maximum. What was different about this equation and the first equation that made that parabola flippity-flop upside down? You know? The what? The very first term, the a value, right? Before, we just had a 1x squared, positive. This time we have negative 3x squared. That negative took our happy quadratic and made it sad. Quadratics that have a negative are sad, because negative means you're in a bad mood. So it's a frowny face, okay? Our solutions are where our parabola crosses. Where they cross? The x-axis, negative 8 and 6. Our two solutions are negative 8 and 6. Our vertex was that 144, or negative 144, but our solutions are at negative 8 and 6.
Have you guys used decimals to put in a variable with a second power? Do you guys know how to enter these? Because you got to make sure that it's a power and not a subscript, so that the power is above. You guys know what I'm talking about?